Okay, there we go. Just trying to thin out my screens before we get going. Okay, so so this is what we have. Sort of, we call this our base system, or sort of our simplest of all systems. And this is where we have, hey, here's all your vehicles in your system. And are you running on CDK or something else?
All my stores are CDK.
Okay, CDK. All right. Okay. So it depends how we want to run. We can run one of two ways. We can run a simple workflow, which is what we're going to show you today, or we can do a more complex workflow, a little more visibility through all systems. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple. So step one is normally you would create a repair order, or you have an appointment, or you have something about this customer in your system. Unless they're a brand new guy, but that's not that often that you have those hits. So let's just stick to the majority of customers first. And so this is what we've got. We've got it set up so that your vehicle comes in, your repair order number. If it's an integration, if we do an integration, for example, Cole, by the way, Cole Hicks, the VP of Sales Marketing, and handles a lot of the dealer side of the piece. And Cole, you can say hello first, I guess, to Brian, then I'm just going to chat about the CDK one-way integration versus the two-way.
Hi to Brian, Cole Hicks. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Cole?
I'm good. So as Jamie comes from the service side, I'm about 25 years on the dealer side. So yeah, Jamie asked me to jump in case there's a couple questions I might be able to help that were really relevant to you. So I'm here for your help, or I'm here to help. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
We're here for Brian. We need your help. So stick
Brian,
around.
It's all about you, sir.
All right. So so this is sort of a ticket. Basically, when we start a vehicle, normally you have two ways to do it. You can either start a brand new ticket, or you can have a ticket that's already in your CDK system. So, and normally we already have a simple one-way integration with CDK that we do through a third party, and all it can do is read information. We don't have any write-backs. In the future, we'll consider a write-back, but for now, I'm just going to show you what we already do, because this is already up and operating in shops. All right, so let's just say we're going to start a new vehicle. If there was customer never been here before, so let's make up, and I'm sorry, I'm going to use Smith. It's just quicker. What's your number, by the way, Brian? Your cell number?
Area code 847.
847.
471.
471.
8790.
Okay, just for fun, I'm going to put that in. I'm going to save you there, Brian, and we'll do, I'll just do test 1, 2, 3, 4 as our license plate. And I won't bother saying where you're from. I'll just put it in. And then we'll pick an RO number in this case. We'll just make one up. We'll give you some mileage. And again, you wouldn't have to do this. If we have an integration running, you'd never need to do this, because this would have been put in by a service writer when they met the customer in CDK, right? Maybe it's oil change too. Okay, fine. Do I want a time promised? If I do, I can pop it in. If I don't, I could have left this blank. Are they waiting? Yes or no? Do I want to assign a tech? I'll give this one to John. I'm going to pretend I'm Frank, and I'll do a 360 inspection. That's just sort of a basic inspection of the vehicle. If I like that, and by the way, you can choose any inspection you want. Maybe they want to come in and you want to do a previously owned vehicle inspection, or you want to do, a Hunter. Maybe you have Hunter alignment equipment. If you do, we integrate with Hunter, and it can pull the Hunter alignment quick check details in as well. So if I do this, I just simply say fine, create a ticket, and you can see right away it's created a new ticket on your dashboard. So as I say, if the integration is running with a dealer management or a shop management system, these will just populate automatically, usually within a minute or so of when the customer has been entered into your system. Okay. So first thing we do is you say, well, who's going to work on the vehicle? Normally, in this case, I have John Anderson working on it. So this is all touchscreen. So this is the view the advisor has, and this or service writer, they can see this all day long. They can apply filters and all kinds of sexy stuff later on. I won't bother, but they can sort of slim their screens down. So let's just pretend that we're John Anderson. So when John taps in, this is what he sees. He sees all his vehicles. They're stacked up, and he can see waiters get a little W on top, so he knows to do those first, and then everything else is down below. pardon me, all he does is touch on his tablet. When he does, it opens up and says, hey, let's get going on this inspection. And this is the inspection that was selected by the advisor or the service writer or service manager, right? Whether it's a Mercedes or a BMW or a GM or whatever, you could have had a specific inspection set up. So the tech knows, okay, this is the one I go ahead and work with. So first thing we do is we just add a photo of the vehicle, and I'm just going to go grab some images for a sec. So just give me just 20 seconds and I'll open up some images. Normally we would walk over to the vehicle, right, and shoot a photo, but since I don't have a vehicle in front of me, I just have to borrow one here. There we go. Okay, so we snap a picture of the vehicle, and then as well we can import Hunter data if we have Hunter. By the way, do you have Hunter alignment equipment or quick check system?
I have 2 of them in 2 of my stores, but I have a lot of the tire profiles equipment.
Oh, do you? Okay, that's interesting. Good, good. We're going to build out an integration with tire profiles next.
Good.
Good. So anyway, I put the VIN in if I wish, or if there is no VIN at all, then we do also have another button that shows up on a tablet and it says scan VIN. So I can go ahead and scan the VIN at that point. Do I do a test drive? Did I do my oil reminder sticker? And did I do my resets? And then we say, well, why is it in here today? And on tablet, I can now see, the tech can see, oh, it was a brake squeal and oil change. So get to work on it. While you're doing your oil change, you can go through, and now obviously you're going to have changed oil, so it's going to be green when you're done. Or if it's really dirty or some other contamination or something else, you can actually mark it off and then show what the condition was prior to doing the oil change, right? So, and if you come down to something like brake fluid or something, and if it actually is either dirty, check vehicle history, fluid's too low, etc., these are drop downs. That means the tech just touches one and away they go. And then they have recommendations here as to how to fix the problems. This is problem, this is the solution. Add top up fluid or other. It's free form. If you want to type to other, you can type in anything you want. So if it is brake fluid that's dirty, then you can walk over to the vehicle and you go, okay, well, let's actually snap a picture of it. Maybe you do test strips. Maybe you do some other method. And all I do is take my finger on screen. I can highlight whatever it is I want the service guy, the parts guy, or the customer to look at. And I can put notes in here as well if I want. So then it just goes through, click off the rest, whatever is suitable. Depending on the vehicle, then skip along. And you can either set yours up to mandate that they check every single thing, Brian, or you can allow them to skip items. So sometimes you do allow them to skip because it's, might be hybrid, could be diesel, could not be, and you don't want to have 20 different inspections always choosing. You can just pick from sort of your main inspections. Okay, so you can see it's pretty quick. It's very easy. You can, if you snap a picture wrong, you can just rotate it to wherever you want, and away you go. And this is all done on tablet, so it's really fast, easy. The whole idea is make it simple for the techs to inspect the vehicle, or the advisor, in the service lane. They might even walk around the vehicle and just do tread depth and stuff, right? The easy stuff, and then hand the tablet off to a tech in the back to finish the job. So I'll say some brake pads were worn unevenly, and I want to replace them. Maybe I want to go and shoot a picture if I wish, if I've got access to actually see them, I can do that. And maybe the rotors are also a problem. Maybe they're not worn, they're actually cracked. So I simply go and walk over to the vehicle and I snap a picture of that cracked rotor. And maybe I don't want to put an arrow, maybe I want something a little bigger, so I can just drag my finger again. It's all finger, I'm using mouse, but it's all finger drag on the tablet. And you can use Apple or Android, it doesn't matter, we don't care what is used. Okay, the rears are the same, under vehicle. It's one thing to get the static stuff, or photos are good, but the problem is not everything's a photo. So it's way better if you can shoot live video. So we can simply click upload, and then even if we want, we can also do text, voice to text. And on the tablet, a little microphone pops up and I can just talk. And then I can bring all my comments in that way. So you can see it's pretty quick. It's all about, and these can be to millimeters or 30 seconds or, whatever you want, basically, right? Or it can be free form, where people are able to type in exactly what they want. The whole idea is you want to make it really fast for either the advisor or the techs to actually get their jobs done. Right? And then at the end, they can just click summary and take a quick look at it and go, okay, did I actually catch everything? If so, yep, I've got everything that I thought. Okay, I'm going to finish the inspection. And they just click finish and they're done. Now it's over to either parts or the service advisors, etc. And they actually pick up the ball and keep going. So, for example, let's say Frank was service advisor. It's a smaller operation. He's got both. He can see the inspection got finished because as soon as the tech clicked finish, this tile lit up on my screen. Now, what was kind of cool though, as John was going through, if I had the report open right here, if I just click on that, it'll show me my summary of everything that was found. And this is kind of a reminder. This is the view that your parts counter would have in real time. So as I clicked front pads, Brian, when I was the tech out back, this actually lit up on screen. So if I wanted to check in on a vehicle to start building a parts list, I can do it in real time, like within a second. All this information is there, and everything, including the photos and everything else, is available on all screens in the shop at one time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, because they just sign in. They get a screen view. So your parts counter, everybody primarily in fixed ops can have an account, sign in with their unique name and password, and they can have this running all day as a tab on their monitors. No equipment needed. The only thing you need out back is a tablet. And techs can use their PCs. If you've already got them set up out back, they can use their PCs, but it's so much easier walking around a vehicle doing the inspection with your tablet. All right, so all the details are here. This is where your parts group would probably go, okay, I got to go estimate that. So they go into CDK. This does not push into CDK. This is simply on screen. So remember, you've got one tab up, which is Auto Serve 1, your text to drive. And over here on the other side of your screen, or maybe a separate screen, you've got a CDK running and you're building up the job piece by piece. So these are just reminders. Remember to price all these items out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so now that I've got it priced out, now what do we got to do? Well, we priced it out in CDK. Well, now we got to prepare the report. So now what it's doing is saying, hey, this is why it came in. This 21 items are good, but here are the items that needs attention, right? So now you can see it's starting to build the report for us, and it's putting in everything the tech put in. And me, the service writer, I don't frankly need to do anything except if I want, I can look at this. The only thing I might want to do is I might want to add a little more rich education. So you can see that the sizes here, worn unevenly, recommendations replace, I'm good with it. If I want to edit it, I can go ahead and edit that as an advisor, but I'm just going to let it go. Now you can see that the picture was taken by the tech as well as all the photos. So the vehicle details, the license plate, when it was created down to the minute, who took the photo and where it was taken. So this would be all your data for your shops. Every shop would have unique data. It's one thing to show a customer a brake pad, but frankly, not a lot of customers know what this is, except it doesn't look good. It's dirty. So then what we say is, well, why don't we just add an animation in to educate the customer on what happens when you actually push on the brake pedal, layman's terms. And if I want it, I just say, yeah, add that one. I want to send that out. Here's my rotor. I want a side view of the rotor because that's going to explain why we have to replace this rotor. Otherwise, these pads are going to get chewed up. There's my video capture. So if I want to click, I can play my video. There's my brake fluid. And in this case, it said, oh, brake fluid. Do you want to add the before and after on brake fluid? Like, why are we recommending a brake fluid exchange instead of, you should change up your brake fluid. People think you're just trying to hose them for another $100, right? So educate, educate, educate. That's what the whole system's about. We preview it, and now it's ready to go out. And we've got a picture of the advisor that goes out and a picture of the technician that goes out who actually inspected the car that day. And then we simply send a report. It pulls from your data, your cell number and your email address, if we had your email address. And then it fires it off to you, or you can send your wife's email address, and you can send, the husband's cell phone number. It just depends on how the contact is set up back in CDK, right? And then here you can see down below, Brian, it's all personalized. This is the email long version. The short version, when you get in text, will be much shorter. But it's all just saying, thanks for bringing your vehicle for service and maintaining your vehicle with us. Your report's ready. So I'm just going to send it, okay? And do you have your cell phone handy?
I do.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to fire that off to you. And then you can just let me know when you get it on your side.
I got it.
Terrific. I never want to take 2 sips of coffee. That would be that'd be too slow. So I'll let you read you've got 2 texts that came to you, and then now I'm not a betting man, Brian, but I will bet you $1 million you just opened that.
Yes.
So now I'm not a betting guy, but and by the way, I've never used that corny line before, Cole, ever. But and I really haven't. But
Please don't again.
yeah. Sorry, it's the coffee. Anyway, report is flashing here, Brian. So that means that actually I can tell my customers actually open the report and they have it open, or at least they open the browser in the last minute or 2. And that's kind of nice because now the shop knows, oh, I should reach out and connect with this customer, or I can expect a phone call. And what we find with our shops is about 50% of the time, the customers will actually call in and say, I've gone through my report. I'm just going to click on report if I was the advisor. And how much is it going to cost and when is it ready? Because we didn't send you any pricing. So one of the new things we're doing, Brian, just you might ask, you probably would have asked, was we are building out right now the ability to put the estimate total into the report. And it'll be like a reveal button, like, oh, please send me the estimate. The estimate total, I should say. And it'll say $715 or whatever your number is that you'd put in or the service writer would put in. But for now, the reason we send it information only is because we don't want to talk price. We just want you to be purely educated on here's what's wrong with your vehicle, here's how we're going to take care of it for you. And price is the last thing we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about when we can get it ready by, and then we're going to talk about price. Because if we build up enough value before we talk price, then it leaves value and price are matching. If we give you price without value, the price is always too high, right? So now we go into it. It's a choice if you want to use this part of our interface, but it allows you to just keep track of, okay, yes, I'm going to approve this or I'm going to decline this. This is not integrated. It's not pushing back into CDK. This is just for you to keep track of, okay, now as soon as I'm done my call, this is my little checklist. I can go over to CDK and edit the invoice, right? Or you could do it you could be in the CDK screen if you wished, right? Of course, you could be over there and the customer says, yeah, I just don't have the $1,200. I can only spend $800 now. Then we say, okay, well, let's defer a couple of items and here's your new price, in the CDK. Let's move on. Okay? Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we do is we get the work done. Because now you've approved it, I phoned you or you phoned me and we've got an approval. But the other thing we could do if we wanted to, and this is where text to drive and ourselves sort of merge, is that normally we would have sort of the ability, and Greg and our teams will work out how we want to do this, but we could even say something like, the total for today's, with taxes is $567.78 or something, can we proceed? And then we can easily, fire text back and forth. And that's where text to drive's already got this down cold. So, but I just thought I'd let you know that we have that ability to support, complete text back and forth too. All right. So the last thing we do is after we've chatted either by text or by phone or whatever, that you want to do. And he said no. And I say, okay. And then I would say, when do we, shall I call you, right? Right? And then you can do whatever you want to do on your end, and away we go. And we begin either a text to chat or we do a real phone call, right? So whatever you want.
So can we hang on pause for 1 second?
Sure.
So Greg, this may be more of a question for you. Do you foresee this integration having the ability to click to call through text to drive?
Yes.
Yes, because all the messages will be coming from 37483 text to drive still. And so we can set up, whatever you want on there, like, oh yeah, call, click here to call, whatever. That would be the way to do it.
Okay. And if advisors have direct dial, we can set it up to go to their direct dial.
Sure.
For their-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Whatever number you want to go to. Yeah.
But it could be advisor specific.
Yeah. We can just make sure as long as they got a certain phone number. I mean, you can't use extensions and stuff, but the advisor's got his own separate phone number for sure. We can.
Yeah, no, most of our guys have DID direct dial numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they'll be able to get the estimate, and that time they can click here to speak to advisor to get more information.
Yep.
They can just click right through as opposed to dialing the main number or doing whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would suggest if that's what we're doing for sure. I mean, you want to talk directly to the advisor. You don't want to call in and go through the prompts and click 2 for service. No, direct to the advisor. That's the way to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that good, Brian? Okay, so the next thing we do, so we've that'll be handled through text to drive, as they say, and then the last thing is notify. And again, this will likely be a text to drive. I mean, we've already built this piece, but we'd merge this, so it just says, "Hey, we've completed service on your vehicle." Right? Thanks for bringing your vehicle in for service. Blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, we send it off. Notification sent over text to drive, and you've got a little bubble here, confirming we've actually notified the customer.
Okay.
Because that's a little sloppy point again, right? In workflow in a shop is everybody's working like crazy and we forget to call customers to tell them the vehicle's actually ready. So.
Right. Got it.
So that's the relatively short and sweet, feel for what the tool does. How did you feel? Like, what's it feel like for you as a receiver of that information on your phone or whatever? Did that hit the mark for you, or were you looking for something else, or maybe just what's your gut feel?
Oh, so I can tell you this. Within my organization, I have 35 rooftops, so we've tried multiple different multi-point solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of them we've used well. It usually is something that kind of dies on the vine, so to speak.
Yep.
From an OEM standpoint, which is where a lot of the push is coming from within our organization, OEMs are pushing electronic multi-points with video capture, stuff like that. So this checks a lot of those boxes. One of the boxes that it doesn't check is the ability for the customer to approve digitally, by line item, approve/decline.
Yep.
You guys have we have the ability to, engage in a text conversation where you can say, it's $1,200 to fix this, and the customer can say, well, what if I just want the brakes? You can respond saying, well, it's $400 if you just want the brakes, or $800 if you just want the tires, or
Sure.
or
Yeah.
stuff like that, which is useful because a lot of times, it could be hard to get a customer on the phone, but it's easier. They could be sitting on a plane or in a meeting or
Yeah.
something like that. Waiting to pick up their kid from school. They can respond to text messages, but not necessarily engage in a conversation.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. One of the areas, which was one of my questions, is providing quotes for the customer. So a lot of the multi-points that are out there, you write the repair order, you do your walk around on the vehicle, the tech does his walk or does his inspection, and he'll say what the car needs, like brakes, tires, etc. He'll send it to the parts guys. The parts guys will put in the parts pricing. Then they'll go back to the service advisor to kind of pull it all together and send it to the customer. And then again, the customer can approve, defer, decline, what have you from there. So it's missing that one step, which isn't necessarily the end of the world, because to be honest with you, that's the one area where a lot of our multi-points get bogged down, is in the parts department. That a lot of times can be it slows it down and creates a log jam, and that's where we've had a lot of issues. So this type of a system may be more beneficial for us.
Interesting. Yeah, we're a little bit lighter on that, and I think we're probably a little more flexible. We built our system to be a little more flexible so that people can kind of use it as heavy as they want, but they can go light if they want. And one of the things that we're building out right now, I just couldn't show it to you because it's only in our staging server, it's not released to production yet, is approvals. So we're actually building in a new little button, and it'll show you what the total is. As I said, it will actually push to you and allows the advisor to write it in, or service writer, write in the total. It pops it up, says, show me the total. Then it allows you to approve it on your phone. Click to approve instantly. And the next piece we're doing is click to pay. So allowing you to do everything, quickly with no hassles. So the only thing we don't have, which you've highlighted, is the line by line approve and decline. And that is a really sticky, gummy part where the gears usually get messed up. And it's because, depending on how we read those line items, they're either line items or they're job packages, right? And sometimes the customer will say, well, no, do the timing belt, but don't do the water pump. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Unless you put it in a package and he wasn't able to say no to that, you just don't want customers saying yes to a brake job on the front, but no to the brake flush, right? So I don't know. I mean, that gets a little messy on that one. And for what we're really solving, which is we're bringing convenience to the customer and transparency, trust and transparency, probably 80% of your jobs will be, okay, just get it done. Like, just make my life easy. Just get it done by 5 o'clock. I'll pay, I'll approve, I'll do all that stuff. And the other 20% we got to deal with, right? Like, we got to call them and we got to talk, and the old way, right? So we'll still give them trust. They'll know what we're doing way better. Everybody will understand what we're doing. And it actually, I think Cole can speak to this too, because we have dealerships using this already, and we have lots and lots of shops in aftermarket using it. Is that it builds trust really quick. It's just makes your service writers more confident when they pick up the phone, right, to talk to somebody.
I know, Jamie, if I can speak on that, I know one of the biggest challenges for the dealerships is the service writers, the time, the check-in, and all the great processes disappear ever so quick when they get really busy. We do get a lot of good feedback that we save time, we reduce phone calls. I think we're seeing close to a 60% response on text message compared to phone calls. So that's just another step, a place where, if I can reduce half the phone calls or 20% of the phone calls and get digital approvals, that puts hours back on a busy shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, well, and the good news is Brian, you guys already drink the Kool-Aid on texting, right? You already know that that's the right way to sort of communicate. And I think all we're doing is we're bringing like the multivitamin, right? Like here's the images, the videos in a structured format. And then you can look up all this stuff too, right? Since we tag it, depending on how you want the integration done, and these are early days, right, Brian? We're just showing what the world can bring you, right? Is since we can tag it with certain fields like a repair order number, or customer, or whatever is suitable on the integration, which means we've got history. So we can look up anything. We can look up an old RO number, etc., and find the inspection results. So if we're saying, well, we mentioned this 3 months ago or 6 months ago, you've actually got that. You've got those records of exactly what the tread depth was 3 months ago or 6 months ago. So it's kind of nice too.
Yeah.
So, based on what you've seen, Brian, is there enough in the tool that makes sense for you? Is there something that's missing that you would need absolutely as a minimum viable product to test for you guys?
No, like I said, it checks a lot of the boxes that we're looking for regarding the electronic versus paper. the multi-point, the ability to take pictures, the ability to take video, the ability to send it to the customer, the ability to have a text conversation and/or click to talk to the advisor. It doesn't have that approval deferral, but again, that's not the end of the world. I understand and don't necessarily disagree with your logic behind not breaking it all out line by line. That's kind of similar to a long time ago we went away from quoting parts and labor. Now we just quote the job.
Yeah.
So it's kind of along that type of premise. Certainly, if they don't want to approve it all, they'll ask the questions of, what if I just want this, or what if I just want that, or can you break it out a little bit for me, or what have you. The whole point is just to get the engagement and get the conversation started, which clearly this tool will do. So do you have, let's say from a management aspect, I wanted to see all the open ROs and their statuses in process.
Okay. So
basically Brian is in charge of, like you said, 35 stores.
okay.
And maybe I'm wrong, Brian, but maybe what he's asking is, how easy or hard is it for him to maybe, okay, I'm going to, what's the BMW Orlando store looking like right now? What's the Chrysler store in, Chicago looking like?
One is enterprise level. If I had multiple stores, could I bounce around from store to store? But the second question is, if I'm the service manager and I have 200 cars in my shop, can I see all 200 and where they are in that process?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways to do it. So two different questions, right? So enterprise level view plus, all my cars in my shop. So there's a couple of things we can do. This at this level, which is kind of our simple workflow, my filters are relatively limited. I could click on just seeing my appointments at this time. If there was a whole bunch, it would pull them all here. I could look at, all my vehicles ever that I've ever done, or I just want to look at the vehicles in my shop right now. I can look at the inspected vehicles, in a simple view. It says, hey, what's inspected? Because I don't want to see anything else. I just want to know, who do I need to build reports for right now, right? And so you do have the ability to sort of switch your screen so you can sort of thin down what you're seeing on screen. Right now, I'm defaulting to show all vehicles. So if there was 200, it'd be 200 in here. I can always search any vehicle at any time by name, VIN, plate, whatever. So I can find anybody within seconds.
So it's going your newest at the top and your oldest at the bottom.
That's right. And if I want to reverse that, I can reverse it to go increasing or decreasing by RO numbers. Yep, just by switching, I can flip it. I can also say I want my waiters at the top. So boom, all my customers that are waiting, they now automatically pop to the top.
Got it.
Now, if you would like, if you're pretty comfortable with this, I could show you the expanded workflow, because I have even more filters if that was really of interest to you. Otherwise, I won't go to that.
I'd like to see it.
You want to see it? Okay. All right. Just a second. Let me just pause sharing for a second. And I just got to go into the back end. And I'll sign out of this store and I'll bring it back up.
And then while you're doing that, the next question would be, is there, and if there is, what type of reporting is there?
Right. So I'll tell you what, I'm glad you asked right now, because when I bring up the back end, I'm going to show you. So let me just turn so what I've done is I've gone in I'm in a master admin, but you would be in an enterprise level admin, Brian, at your level. So you'd be able to actually see all of your stores lined up here. And you would be able to type in, whichever store you wanted to go visit for a second, sort of fly in, so to speak. So I'm in Jamie's Service Garage right now. So let's go to manage it. And this is the back end that you'd have in every single store. So I can look at my analytics and I can go, hey, let me look at the last 3 months. Like, what's going on in this store? And I can actually see blue is the number of tickets that have come in, green is the number of inspections, and red is the number of reports actually sent out. Now, sometimes you might even have the case where you've sent out more inspections than you had vehicles that day. That's only because it was a hangover from the day before. You inspected the day before, and the next day you actually sent the report out. But what's nice about this is where you can dig into your data in the back end. So I can go, okay, let me look at tickets. Who's using this? I can actually, as a service manager, go in and go, hey, Pierre, man, you turned it on. You were really pushing for a couple days there, but then what's going on? You've got no activity in the tools. Frank Smith, you're an ace. You're hitting it out of the park. You're consistent. This Jamie C guy, he's never shown up. He's flatlined. So, Jamie, you said you were doing it, but looks like you're not on board at all. Why don't you work with Frank, for a shift and see what he's doing, and then we'll talk next week. So this is the level of detail you've got in the back end for your analytics. Same thing in your techs. You can see every one of your technicians. We track it every day. How many inspections did each guy really do? We also have an export. If, for example, you want to export the whole thing, then we can go, what do you want? You can have up to a year. You can pick a custom, or you can just say, give me the last 3 months. I want to export everything. I just love looking at Excel spreadsheets. And you can say, fine. You can open it up, and bang, it'll show you all your inspections, the RO numbers, who did it, was a report, was the inspection completed? Was a report sent out or not? Was it even opened by the customer? And then how many reds, how many greens, how many ambers in every inspection? Plus, I gotta move stuff around here. Plus a link to the actual inspection report. If you want to go check out any of those inspections, they're all here.
Gene, if I can just make a comment on this one.
Yeah, sure.
I get questions by a lot of dealerships. We either have the BDC or CRM tool. How do we do follow-up? Sure. So I've got a lot of good feedback about the red declines here. Mm-hmm. Even though we don't drive into what items were identified, it's a real fast way to identify what customers said no to items on first visit. And then from a follow-up, Brian, those links that Jamie showed you on the right-hand side here, they stay live forever. So I've seen a lot of email follow-up from BDC centers or receptionists where they'll send out a copy of that link 2 months later to book that next service appointment. So even though it's an Excel sheet, there's a lot of really good information in here.
Thanks, Cole. All right, so let's close that up, and I don't need to save that. So back to here. So this is where basically you have the ability, Brian, or your store managers have the ability to actually check out, really what's going on in the store. And what we're looking for is trend lines, right? Like, how are we doing? Are we steady? Are we going up over time? Are we going down? What's going on with my team? And then on the store options side, I'm going to go in and change this to be, and by the way, we can upload the logo of your store, all the different stores. They pop in here. So this logo that says AutoServe One actually becomes your core brand, right? So that'll be major up on top of our tool. So it looks as if you've spent the $5 million instead of us. And then we become like a little player, like, powered by AutoServe One, small. And Text to Drive, we would coordinate all the branding so that it makes sense for you and your chain, right? All right, pardon me. So I'm just going to switch it up to Workflow 1, which is our more expanded workflow. And you can see here, I have about, 50 different inspections, but it's unlimited. You can have as many inspections as you want. You might want to have, do you do any fleet service at all in your shops or no?
Yeah, so like in one of my Florida stores, I do commercial fleet vehicles.
Yep. So what you can do is you can build out a custom inspection for that fleet customer and then just crush it, because you can go in and say, hey, we're going to build out a custom inspection that meets your vehicle. Maybe it's got reefers, maybe it's got different suspension, or you want to check fire extinguishers, whatever it is, you'll build a pinpoint inspection when they like it, and every time those vehicles come in, they'll get an inspection sent to them within a minute of it being completed. So the fleet manager is happy as pig and poop. So
Brian, I noticed on the website the brands that you're associated with, and I think we have 8 of those brands we're currently working with. So we've recreated the OEM, the MPIs, the Ford Q55. A bunch of those inspections have already been built out.
Cool. So this, so you can see what happened. I changed it to the expanded workflow. So you can see that it looks similar, but now we've got an estimate button showing up. So once the inspection's done, Brian, it prompted the advisor or someone to go and build an estimate. It looks kind of similar, right, to what we did before. It's just going to show they're all done. But this, right, it's got a nice little checklist there. The inspection, the summary, once it's all done, I would simply check that that's actually done. There we go. And then it triggers and it says, okay, well, let's get the estimate together. I'll just go back and I'll show you that. Since I've already sent this out, it doesn't matter. We build the report, and that's where we go get our approvals. And there's a new little link that'll show up here, and you can see I'd approved and declined that before. What's really nice is the new piece I'm talking about, it's going to have a little highlight in here, and it's going to say approved. So this says authorization. That's the new button that's going to come up. And then its little green check mark will be in the box that it's been approved. So you can actually see exactly what was approved for work. And then it goes in, and depending on the integration, if we have an integration with CDK or other system, it'll pull and try to read the part status of the parts desk. And the last thing is you want to get the work done. So if that was, let me just switch up, be John Anderson for a second. It allows John to touch, go in, and then we can actually turn on, in this case, for this integration, we actually had an elapsed time on the timer, so we can actually track the amount of time it took this tech to inspect the vehicle. That's kind of standard for us, but in this advanced integration, I cannot guarantee you we can deliver this with CDK, but it will actually have labor tagged to each line of the labor of the work order in this case. So I can't guarantee, as I can say, we have this level, but we will have total time. So it's kind of neat, and also depending on whether you have an integration built, it'll also show us the part status at that time. In this case, no integration, you don't see anything. But again, it just depends on what degree of integration is built out. That's it.
Okay.
I know what I wanted to show you. Remember I said I had more filters because you were interested in saying, hey, if I've got 200 vehicles, like I want to zero in on what do I need to estimate? What am I waiting for approval on? Who's awaiting parts? Remember that? I think you were kind of, yep. So they're all here now. So in our expanded workflow, I can pick whatever I want. I can say, hey, give me just, there's no inspections that are waiting. So let me just go back. Reporting. Okay. So I've got an estimate that was ready. Now I've got to go get the report ready. So it's set up. So I'm just going to switch users and be Frank, because that was the tech there for a second. Reporting. So there you go. I've got one that's I've got to go back and build that report. So anything that I was building a report on and I got too busy or I got called off it, I can see it was half done. I'd started it, but I forgot to finish it, right? Or maybe I want to wait approval. There's just one vehicle that's waiting approval because I've already sent out, and you can see the report's open. Waiting parts. How many we got those? None. So that means none of those. Or how many are we working on? Okay, these guys are getting work underway. Maybe I want to check in with those guys. Check in with John, right? Hey, what's the status? How much longer until we get this done? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's kind of nice. So that's kind of recent as well that we built in this. It's really nice because if you do have 200 or 300 vehicles, you might want to just look at this, or you might want to say, I don't care about every other service writer. Just show me mine. Just click it, and it cuts everything off your screen except your customers. So, as a service writer, who am I working on today? I left it off because maybe you do want to be able to look at every single vehicle, but if you want to speed up and keep it tight, then you can just click that. Every service advisor or service writer can click that, and it'll automatically filter out everybody else's stuff. I don't have anything else for you, Brian. You've exhausted me of all the sort of the main tricks.
Jamie. Cool.
Okay. That looks good. I like it.
Good. Well, we like it too. And because of Greg, we kind of like you too.
Good. So, Jamie, we'll converse with Brian more, and we'll see what we can do.
Sure.
Maybe get something going in one of the stores and get this thing, being used.
Sure, I'll leave it up to you guys.
Okay.
Brian, I'll wrap up. If there's anything else you'd like to ask, feel free. Otherwise, I'll close her up, and you guys can chat, and then we'll circle up later.
Sounds great.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Hey,
Brian.
thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
I'll give you a
Okay,
call tomorrow,
right, bye-bye.
Brian, or Thursday, whatever you're free, and we can talk some more.